So hello and welcome back to two friends having difficult conversations. We hope you enjoyed our first video last week, which is, we'll have a link below to show where it was. We're talking about a different topic today and hopefully starting a series of talks, which hopefully you guys can be part of as well. Today's topic is, what is white privilege? And we're going to have a couple of questions each.
Spicy.
A bit spicy. A bit uncomfortable, but that's the whole point. Our purpose of doing these videos is to empower you to feel that you can have conversations with your friends, your family, and also to encourage an open-mindedness and not to think, you know what, I've got all the answers already, press stop now. It's we can all learn, you know. That being said, definition of white privilege. It is the societal privilege that benefits white people over non-white people in society, political or economical circumstances. Peggy McIntosh, who's an anti-racist activist, who happens to be a white lady, she describes it as an invisible package of unearned assets. Interesting. So, that's our starting point. Des, questions on your minds, and let's have a chat about it.
Right, okay. I'm from Gateshead.
Sure.
So as well as the last one about silence is compliance, this is the biggest question for me. I'm from Gateshead, big history of shipbuilding, big history of kind of mining, shipbuilding, all that sort of stuff, all sleeves rolled up, kind of hard working class culture. My parents on both sides came from, you know, working class backgrounds, both grew up in a council house. Mm-hmm. So for me, sometimes, you know, when I hear that white privilege, I'm kind of like, hang on a minute, my family are both from working class backgrounds, both grew up in a council house.
Sure.
Really? I've earned, do you know what I mean? I've earned everything that I've earned.
Fair enough. Sure. Okay. So, I hear what you're saying, and in my opinion, white privilege is not to do with saying that white people have not worked hard to get where they are. Lots of people in whatever circumstances they're in, they've had to do something to get there. There's not many hand-me-downs in life, but certainly are some. In terms of growing up in a council estate, I'm guessing a predominantly white town, where maybe there isn't so many black people around, so I can understand why a few people might say, well, what's it got to do with me? There's, you know, I'm from a town where it's mostly white people, we're all working hard to be where we are, and, you know, life is tough from a working class family of whatever colour you are. No one's denying that. I think how I interpret white privilege and to do with that question is that how hard your parents worked to get to where they are is X amount. How hard black people in this country have to get to the same stage is Y amount. And what I mean by that is that your parents definitely would have had barriers to get to where they are, but the thing is, as a black person, there are extra barriers which your parents maybe haven't seen or weren't aware of, which maybe they can say, well, it doesn't affect me, I don't see what these barriers are. What are you talking about, JP, these barriers? And I'll give an example.
Cool.
My brother is from somewhere near London. He was applying for jobs when he finished his courses, whatever he was doing, and he didn't get many callbacks. Not much came back. Same CV, using his own name. He thought this as an experiment for himself. He's just going to send out the same CV to the same companies that he was applying for jobs for, just change the name. Instead of using his own first name, surname, he's going to be called John Smith, which is the name he actually used. He had a few callbacks, but the same companies said no to him. Same CV, same qualifications, same address, same age, really.
Okay.
Okay. And I knew about this with my brother only last week. We had a family chat on on a video calling app. I didn't know about that by my brother, and when my brother said that, I felt gutted as an older brother for a younger brother that he felt that way. But what that shows is that, sure, if he was called John Smith, let's say my brother was called that, and an employer saw down a piece of paper, John Smith, okay, he's worked so hard to get there. We're not denying that John Smith has worked hard to get there, but in that experiment alone, with my brother's same CV, using his real name and John Smith, some doors were closed purely by, I guess, an assumption from an employer that, well, that name doesn't look like an English name, it's best Steve in the bin. Just purely on that. Forget education, forget qualifications, forget age, that was a barrier for him to overcome. So that's just, I guess, what I'm trying to say is that there are barriers in our country and the world which some white people maybe aren't aware of, and that's not necessarily their fault, maybe from lack of understanding, lack of perspective. So that's just a point of view.
See, you know, there when you said about it not being like my fault, maybe. So
yeah.
If I haven't been aware of some of the things you're going to tell me today or whatever,
yeah.
Sometimes it feels like that's my fault. Do you know what I mean about how things are?
Why is that?
Well, I guess because it's white privilege, isn't it? I am the one I'm in the privileged position, therefore I'm aware of my status because I've elevated myself there.
Sure.
I guess that's maybe the assumption.
Sure, but I guess you're saying that, I guess, because you're quite from what I know of you, you're quite an open person, so you're happy to consider that. Okay, so I want to do an experiment with you. This is an experiment which is online and you guys can try it at home, but no, try and do my things up as well, so I'll do it with you. Right, so...
do I do this as well or not?
Yeah, so turn things up and we're just going to basically, if I say a statement and it replies to you, put your finger down.
Okay.
And let's see where we're at after these questions. So, white privilege exercise. Put one finger down if you've ever been called a racial slur. Okay.
Can I just dead quickly?
Yeah, sure.
My accent and stuff, that doesn't count.
That's not your race. No, that's not your race.
Yeah, cool.
Good question there.
Cool.
Okay, put one finger down if you've been followed by a shop security unnecessarily. Put one finger down if, when you've walked past someone, they've clung to their purse or bag when you've been close to them. Put one finger down if someone has ever thrown peanuts to you in the public place. Put one finger down if you've ever been bullied purely on your skin colour. Put one finger down if you've ever struggled to find hair products that match your hair type.
Great, not included.
Those things added for that. Okay, put one finger down if you've ever had a boss who has the same skin colour as you. If you've never had a boss with the same skin colour as you. Put one finger down if you've ever been the only person of your skin colour in a public place or room with a few people. Let's say public place, because a room could be defined as all sorts. In a public place. Put one finger down if you've ever been referred to as your kind or your type by your close friends.
I've had that one.
Yeah, cool. And put one finger down if you've ever been asked where you're really from. Sure. Okay, so for those that haven't noticed, I've run out of fingers. What are you on, Dez?
9.
Okay. Thoughts?
So that's you putting into context, right, isn't it?
Sure.
That is the nuts is you, isn't it?
Yeah. Went on a rugby tour to Spain in year 10 with my school, and our rugby coach, maths teacher, Mr. Eastwick, legend, he took us to a Barcelona game. So we went to the new camp, we saw a football match, and then as we were watching it, felt something touch my shoulder on the floor. I saw a peanut, I thought, okay, maybe someone's eaten it, must have dropped it. A few minutes later, a handful more came. At the time, it wasn't until recently that I've actually seen the significance of what was going on there. And obviously, you've had an experience where you've been to a football game and seen something with John Barnes.
I remember being in Newcastle as a kid with my dad, yeah, and they were throwing bananas at John Barnes in the Gallagher end, to much hilarity.
Yeah.
Everyone was laughing their heads off, yeah, throwing bananas at John Barnes. Like, and how many years ago was that? 30?
Sure.
30 years maybe. So for me then, I can't handle that nuts thing. Can't handle it.
Sure.
So you're, in terms of, we know what I'm talking about, council house. Yes, I've fought for, and my family's fought for the things we have. Like my mum and dad, they were the first person in the family to have the house.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to do that, and also contend with that stuff.
That's the key word, the also bit, the additional stuff. No one's denying that white people have any hardship in life. Of course they do. No one's denying that. What Black Lives Matter movement is trying to highlight is that we have extra hurdles on top of the everyday hurdles that white people have. And that's what, go back to your first question, well, how does it affect me, why does it matter? Well, you guys have, in a nutshell, you guys have a leg up on the system of social inequality, and it's making people aware of that because they are able to help break that system, they're able to help make it a fairer level playing field. So that's it from me, and that's it from Dez, and
Awesome.
Let's keep it soaping this up, eh? We're still learning.
Cheers, guys.
Alright, until next time.